I'm going to just go ahead and throw a general question to our panelists here. General thoughts, your first impressions of Under the Oak Tree. What did you like? Is there anything you disliked? Would love to hear it. Who would like to start?
I guess I'll go first.
All right, Ren.
Yay! Hello, everyone. So some of the things that I really enjoyed throughout the series, obviously, is the art style. It's beautiful. And compared to some of the art styles that I've seen in other webcomics, there's a lot more details and world building in this where I feel like you're more immersed in it. So I really, really love that. And I think when it comes down to, was it the dislikes?
Not that there is anything to dislike,
Right?
but if,
Like,
but if there was,
Yeah.
or you just say, there's nothing I dislike.
Yeah, we can go with that. There's nothing I dislike.
Cool. I'll bounce off of that though. Like the art is absolutely incredible, guys. Especially, character art. Manhwa is known for having really strong character art, but in terms of the backgrounds in this series, like they did a really good job of like building the setting and making it very meticulous. Like the line art is just kind of crazy, very technical, but like it gets like super detailed and it's just very impressive. And I also really liked seeing the two main characters. For those of you guys who don't know, it's Maxie and Riften. And they both are very traumatized and have like these insecurities, and it's really cool to kind of see them work through it together in kind of a realistic type relationship and kind of tie it back to real life.
Yeah, I think, one thing that we were talking about before we started this panel was kind of how realistic the story and the complicated relationships are. Would anybody be able to kind of touch on that just briefly?
Yeah. I guess it's easier to see why it would be so complicated for Maxie. Her issue, or I don't want to say issues, sorry. Her struggles are very obvious from episode 1, a little intense. Maybe we could use a trigger warning. So you see how she battles with that, right? There's a lot of self-doubt involved. And then to be in a relationship where you're so showered with love and you don't understand where that's coming from to begin with can be something that I think a lot of people could find relatable. And then you also have the character who's supposed to be the Prince Charming, right? Super perfect, flawless, oh my gosh, so attractive. But then the author adds another dimension to his character by giving his own set of issues that he needs to work on. He also needs self-love and things like that. So it's really relatable on a modern level to, wow, my train of thought. It's really relatable. Like you just find these issues all the time that you're like, oh my gosh, just talk to each other. But you know that's not that easy, right? So yeah.
Thank you for that. I guess, Under the Oak Tree has been read and it is loved by millions and millions of people and fans all around the world. What do you think it is about this piece of art that attracts so many people to it? Why is it so popular? And for people who may not have, or just considering, like, who would you recommend it to? Who would you recommend actually read this and enjoy it and dive into it?
You can go.
Okay, cool. So I'll go. For me, I think I would recommend this to anyone who has a little bit of like low self-esteem or relates to these characters where they feel like, oh, I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve to, be seen in these kind of ways. Because then you can relate and understand that, yes, you do. You absolutely do. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be seen, no matter whatever circumstance you are. And you can reflect that same thing with that character, both these characters, honestly, and see that you deserve every right to be seen and respected, no matter how you are. And eventually, you get to see and hope that these characters will understand that love does not have to come from an external source, but it can come from within.
Wow.
Beautifully said. Anybody else want to add to that? I know she really just killed that answer.
Yeah,
it's a lot to follow.
But
One thing that struck me is obviously how beautifully it is created, but also this is more a question to Brandon as an author, as a creator. Could you talk to us a little bit about the accessibility of Under the Oak Tree, as well as the ease and how easy it is to kind of go through and scroll infinitely throughout this story?
I think it's really important to take advantage of the vertical scroll, the infinite kind of canvas in a way that you can't do it you can't find anywhere else, right? And so I think that's super important.
So obviously, as if you guys don't know, Manta has incredible vertical, infinite scrolling. You just keep going, and it just incredible stories on it, incredible comics. But this is a general question for all three of you incredible people here. What is so special about webcomics versus like manga or American comics like Marvel and DC? What is it about webcomics, Korean webcomics, that really stands out and stands apart?
I'm going to start with the really boring answer.
Please.
I mean, Brandon kind of talked about this, where you get to focus on only one panel, so the layout is completely different, right? And also, because in a way you can read through things a lot quicker, the writing has been changed in a way so that it's more accessible. You have less of like a word dump into one speech bubble. So they want to really optimize that you make sure you get the content in the most efficient way possible. So you're not overwhelmed with information by like, when I read manga or American comics, one thing that like kind of stops me from reading is there's just an information dump that I have absolutely no idea what to do. Also, when I'm switching between the two, I'm like, wait, do I read right to left or left to right? I don't know. But in a webcomic format, it's very just left to right, up and down, very intuitive in that sense.
I would like to bounce into that. It's very intuitive and very efficient, which is, makes sense considering Asia. But we try to be efficient. Anyway, I would like to focus a little bit on the concept of like Korean manhwa in particular, like its rise, at least for like a very brief moment. I just want to talk about how the focus on it is very human. Like I understand from at least what I've read from when I was younger, a lot of the American stories have always been like superheroes and stuff like that with a lot of human characteristics. But I feel like with like at least the Korean manhwas, it's a bit on the reverse. It's very focused on human qualities and what connects us, and then it starts adding in the small details of what makes us special. I think that's something, it starts with what can we relate with, what is the connectability here, and then we can start focusing on the bigger stuff. Whereas the American style is like, look at these giant superheroes, look how amazing they are, and then we go into their backstories, and then like, oh, they are kind of like us. But I think because the Korean version it starts off with the relatability first, it makes us want to be like, oh, they're just like us, and then we want to know more about them.
Brandon, anything to add?
I agree.
Okay, got it. Yes. I've realized following Ren is very hard sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, we're here talking about, the rise of Korean webcomics. And I guess a general question to all three of you is, how does it feel to see Korean webcomics represented at such a huge international stage? Like here, Comic-Con. How does it feel to you guys?
Honestly, webcomics mean so much to me in general because it's kind of how I got access to a Korean culture and the language. I grew up in a very isolated community in the middle of South America. So yeah, Korean, I was very not into this thing, but then webcomics really helped me go into that, and I had come to fall in love with it, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so underrated. Everybody should talk about it, and everybody should know about this. So when I actually came to the US, in 2015, I was showing my friends, hey, look at this thing. It's really, really cool. And the reaction had been, oh, that's just cheap manga.
Brutal.
Fast forward to 5 years, look at where we are. It's very satisfying. I really hope that the rise of webcomics continues because it's such an amazing media and a storytelling device that, it could really help so many people tell different kinds of stories.
Great. Thank you. Ren, any thoughts?
The rise of Korean webcomics is not a new concept. So I wanted to say, first of all, the history of it all, if you look into the Hallyu wave, is very fascinating because it just comes down to starting Korean War, then eventually international progress and Korea rebuilding itself from that war, and then within that short time period, kind of putting itself into the worldwide network of how it becomes international. And slowly with introduction to South America, other Asian countries, and eventually Americas, we start to dominate the area because we're amazing and efficient. But just a little tidbit. But anyways, when it comes down to the work that we do and the work that's being recognized now, I just want people to realize that it's not like a surprise. Oh my God, Koreans all of a sudden are popular. We have worked really hard to break into the industry in all industries. Like, for me, the moment that really got me was maybe 9 years ago when I sat in my car, turned on the radio, and Gangnam Style came on. And I was like, oh, wait, this is not my phone. This is from my radio.
Mm-hmm.
That was the moment where we're like, oh, we did it, guys. We broke into America. And then now we have BTS twice, right? Parasite, Squid Games, like all these other things. We have like face mask, skincare. We have taken over that. Mukbangs. We're everywhere. And there's a part of me where in Squid Games, right? There's that song the little doll sings, 무궁화, right? Right? It's creepy. It's creepy when you hear it. But there's a part of me that like resonated with that little song because the mugunghwa is the Korean national flower. And the translation means the mugunghwa flower is blooming. And for me, that felt so powerful because we are blooming, right? So we are there right now. And I just want people to realize that it took work. It's not just because it's a prize or luck or because America suddenly recognizes. We've been worthy from the beginning. I just want people to recognize that.
Preach. Alrighty. I guess, like Ren was saying, Hallyu is having, Korean culture, I feel like is having such a global moment. K-pop, skincare, food, TV, film, webcomics, cars, TVs, semiconductor chips, we're everywhere. We are literally everywhere. But I guess for Brandon and number 7 as well, is there a particular piece of Korean content that you really attach yourself to, be that webcomic or other, when you were like, oh wow, we're having like a moment kind of? Anything that really stuck out to you guys?
I think for me, it's definitely webcomics for me. That's a space I focus on. That's what I write for as well. And I've been reading Korean webcomics since high school, and at the time it was like still kind of small and like niche, and like I was like the only one at school reading it. But now it's like huge, and you can go and meet people like at conventions, and be outside, and people know what like Korean webcomics are, which is kind of just like a crazy thing to me. And now those are all that's kind of jump starting like a lot of these like big kind of shows that you'll see on like Netflix or whatever. So I think it's kind of like it's all like encompassing in a way.
Yeah, I think webcomics is definitely what got me really into the Korean culture and whatnot. I wish I could say K-pop or K-drama, but no, sorry. It was very hard to get, but webcomics was a lot easier, a lot more accessible for me to consume. Yeah, and yeah, that's
cool.
I don't have anything more to add.
Cool. It sounds like a very great place to start. If you guys are interested in experiencing Under the Oak Tree in person, you guys have to check out the booth. It is booth number 1832. Let me tell you about this booth, okay? I went to it. There's a lot of things happening there. First of all, there's a real tree, okay? And you can walk through the tree, and you can write your own love submissions, and it is inspired by Ruth's Library, which, if you know the comic, it is a clear reference to it. You can also take a test drive of the Manta app. There is a QR code, and if you scan it, you get a month free subscription, so be sure to go check that out. It costs you nothing. You're already here. You might as well do it. It's free, guys, okay? In this economy, let's take it. Too real? Too real. No. I'm just being honest. Okay. Also, you can take a unique 360-degree selfie in Anatole. You go and you hold an orb, and you can, if you have abs, that's great. I don't, so I put some on, and you take a video and a selfie. And then your favorite characters from the title, they're also there. Let me tell you, they're beautiful, they're ripped. He will not attack you. He is really jacked, but it's a lot. But go check it out. And again, it is booth number 1832, and be sure to go ahead and get your free month subscription by scanning the QR code when you're there. Now, to continue on with this panel discussion, we have some submissions. We have some anonymous love advice submissions that I think some people in here submitted, okay? And so with these incredible people, these creatives right here. We're going to answer some of these questions and give you some love advice. I was going to say unsolicited, but it's solicited. Somebody asked for this, okay? All right, so I'm going to read you this question, and our dear panelists, you guys can take it away. Here's the first question. I'm a senior in high school going to university next year, but my boyfriend and I are going to be at different schools. We've never been in a long-distance relationship before, so I'm worried how this will turn out. We haven't discussed it. Awkward. We don't know how we want to move forward yet. What are some tips you'd give for a long-distance relationship? I know this is a loaded question. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Anybody here with experience in a long-distance relationship? Nope. So we're very qualified. Oh, okay, Ren does. All right.
I think because you are in high school and you are going to university next year, I think the best thing that you can do is focus on yourself and what you want to do. And exactly. Right? Exactly. Yeah.
You didn't ask me, but I'm just, whoever this person is asking, have fun in college. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying break up or whatever, but I think going into college for me, a lot of people are like, I'm with a long-term girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, but they always felt like they couldn't enjoy college because of it. But I feel like college is a time where you should really explore and learn about yourself and experiment in whatever you want to do. So finding the right boundaries for that and making sure that you are having fun and being fair to yourself as best as possible. And that I'm going to leave it there. Because we got another one. Here we go. This one, buckle in. Like literally, if you have a seatbelt, just let's go. I have a crush on my best guy friend of nearly 10 years. Checking my pulse. Okay. We go to the same school, church, do volunteer work together, and our families are really close, so we go on joint family trips together as well. He's like a brother to me, but I also find myself imagining the what ifs. I don't want to lose a brother, but also I don't think I'd be able to stand seeing him be with another girl. Should I go for it, or is this something I'll probably regret later? Turning my mic off.
I mean, I have thoughts, as you all already know, but I'm going to let you go first.
I think go for it. I think
Oh,
go for
boy.
it. I think go for it. You know, you can, yeah, you might live a long time with the regrets, but like the key sentence there for me was like, I don't want to lose a brother, but I don't think I'd be able to stand it seeing him with another girl, right? It's like, she's gonna be hurt either way. Like, I think she should really like, I don't know, either like kind of like sort of distance herself a little bit here and like maybe start to get over this crush, which seems kind of impossible if it's been going on for 10 years. Like, that's a long time to not say something. So I think it's better to just kind of pull off the Band-Aid here and shoot your shot. And if it works out, like, fantastic. And if it doesn't, like, you know, you guys can, you can back up and maybe take your space, work on yourself, and maybe be friends again if that's in the cards.
Well said.
Are we allowed to have differing opinions? Like differing
Oh,
advice?
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you can differ.
I mean, I'm a huge friendship advocate. I think friendships are so underrated because relationships are like portrayed to be like the thing to strive for whatsoever. You know, relationships are usually shorter than friendships. They last a little longer. I mean, yeah, and maybe not being able to see this person with another girl might be an indication that you should reflect a little bit on yourself a bit more. Make sure you can support him more. Or, oh, sorry, I assume gender, sorry. Oh, no, guy friend. But yeah, friendship is not as bad as you think. Just say it.
Thank
So
you.
jumping off of that, right? Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Support. Okay, so cool. Ooh, it gets everything. Can't be as dramatic. But anyways, I think the part for me where it really throws like red flags. Brother? Right? I'm sorry, you shouldn't be thinking of your romantic partner as a brother. I say that with hesitation. So there's that. The second red flag is I don't think I would be able to stand seeing him with another girl. Romantically, friendship, etc. I'm sorry, if you're going to be possessive of a person, period, no matter what relationship status you're in with right now or like after, that's something you need to reflect on, like she said, right? People are not possessions, they are people. No matter their interactions with everyone else, you cannot control them and you shouldn't control them. That's a big no-no, don't do that. You should respect their boundaries, understand that they are allowed to have friendships outside of relationships that are love, right? Got the 15 minutes, so I'll keep it short, right? And then life in general. Love is, everyone's like, oh, love is romantic, this platonic, like mono, two persons kind of thing. And like love looks a lot of things. It's 2021, y'all. Love looks like a lot of things. It can be a lot of people and different things, and it describes to whatever it is bound to the people in that relationship. So if we're going to expand beyond into healthy relationships that aren't possessive, let's try to talk about yourself, where you stand, what you look like, and what you envision for yourself in a relationship, what that looks like in a healthy way. And then also, if you guys have been best friends for over 10 years and neither one of you have made that call, I think it's time for you to make that move. At least it's good to communicate that, at least. Understand that, hey, I like you. I don't know how you feel about me. I would like to know. And if you can go further, great. If not, I still love you as a friend, and let's continue from there. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Thank you. I feel like I'm in like a session of relationship therapy,
Oh.
and it's a lot, but yes. Okay. While we're on the topic of advice, if you were to give any advice to our characters in Under the Oak Tree, Maxie and or Riften, what would it be? I know you have a lot of thoughts on this.
So,
Yeah.
does Riften really love her? Right? So what we know right now from the story, if you guys have read it, right? If you've read it, we assume that he loves her, or is the idea of her. So we don't really know that yet. At least in my heart, I'm like, I hope they grow to love each other. But the word love is being thrown around a lot. And I'm like, do you guys actually know each other? You barely know each other, as we saw in like the last two chapters. It was like, I barely know you. Let's get to talk to each other. Y'all don't love each other. Y'all know each other. Y'all maybe have these ideas of what love may be and what like the traditional stereotype of what a husband and wife looks like and works like. But do y'all actually truly love each other and respect each other and communicate these boundaries, which they do not, obviously, and communicate like their wants and needs and who they want to be, what their vision looks like together, and what their needs are, and how to treat each other in like healthy ways. And hopefully they'll get to that point, but obviously they're at the point where I'm like, get to know each other first. So that's how I feel about it.
Well, we're going to start wrapping up slowly this panel, but I just wanted to ask all three of you, you know, how has your experience been at Comic-Con so far? What are you looking forward to from Under the Oak Tree and just in Comic-Con in general?
I can start. This is my first time in San Diego, so this is actually pretty cool. Just coming out here. I'm from New York originally. So, and I've never seen a tree as like the booth. Like it's literally, it's a gigantic tree and you can go inside. So like guys, it's so cool. You guys should definitely need to check it out. And yeah, I mean, it's been a dream of mine to work in comics, and now I'm up here like talking about them with people. So this is super cool for me.
Thanks for being with us. Thank you. All right. Ren.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
How's
cool.
it been for you?
It's been amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get to meet you.
We'll get to meet you. We get to meet you, and we get to hear
Oh,
all your
yeah. Oh, yeah, I
advice.
get
It's
to
great.
Meet y'all. This
Yeah.
is amazing. I get to meet you. I get to meet you, which I'm like a big fan of your work, by the way. I'm like a huge fan of your work. I love you. I just met you today, and I absolutely love you because you are like one of the backbones of the manhwa industry right now, because you're doing the work of translating from Korean to English for people like me. So like, I love you. So I'm very happy to be here. And then like everyone here, I'm so thankful for you guys to be here today. I'm like honored to even be on this panel.
Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you so much. Number 7? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time in the West Coast in San Diego. I was always in the East Coast area. more in the audience. So like if you had told me like 5 years ago, like, hey, in the future, you're gonna be working in comics and then you're gonna be in the panel in the San Diego Comic-Con with like these amazing people, I'd have been like, get out of here. F you for like fueling my dreams, because I am literally working on my dream job and I can't be any happier. I'm super honored to share like this time with you guys, and thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Well, thank you to our incredible panelists for being here and sharing your thoughts and your expertise with all of these incredible people. Thank you all for being here as well. Before we let you guys go, we have some gifts to give out, okay? We got some Manta swag boxes, and I mean boxes, okay? So we're gonna do some very quick trivia. We're gonna ask some questions, and then each one of our panelists is gonna pick somebody to answer. Whoever answers it right, there's a massive box of gifts for you guys, okay? So here we go. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna read the question, you raise your hand up if you know the answer, and then in order, Brandon, you pick the first person to answer, and then we're gonna go down the line. All right, so first one, question one. In which webcomics app is Under the Oak Tree exclusively available? Oh my gosh!
In the colorful shirt.
In the tie-dye.
Ah.
Did you say Amanda? Manta. Yeah, that is
Yes,
correct.
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 Your swag.
We will have a swag box for you right after this session.
Yes.
Wow, that was really hard. I'm like really impressed. Man, when you said Amanda, I was like, ooh.
Oh no.
All right. Second question. Ren, please pick our answerer for this.
Okay, right.
How much is the monthly subscription for Manta?
Yeah. $3.99? Yeah.
Correct. The price is right.
2 for 2.
All right, 2 for 2.
Let's go for one in the back.
All right. Last question. This might be a little tough. From Under the Oak Tree, what is our main character Rifton's last name?
Ooh, okay.
The
Oh my
confidence.
gosh. I'm gonna go for the person in the back.
That's you,
Just
right?
that's you. Should we count pronunciation?
That's a man question. That's.
That's a you question. You're
Can
the
you
translator.
spell it for us?
All right, I have to give it to you.
There we
Good job.
go. Congratulations. Please meet us up front and grab your swag boxes. Woo. We could do it right after the session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was unclear. That was my bad. All right, so as we kind of wrap this up, again, thank you so much for joining us. We have, of course, a booth at 1832. Please go check it out. You can go for the free 1-month subscription when you get there. Take the photo, write your little things into the library, a lot of things to do. So please check it out, 1832. Before we let you go, we have a very special video, and hopefully it's not going to lag on us. All right, so let's watch this video as we wrap up the session. And there we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you everybody so much for joining us here at this session. We have a couple other really exciting news pieces. First of all, as you leave, you guys can pick up one of these really cool books with this cool stuff. Yeah, I saw, she went, oh! Why is everybody not doing that? Come on. Oh my God. So please pick this up on your way out as you head towards the booth. Also, a reminder, you get your free 1-month subscription at the booth. And season 2 is coming very, very soon. Like, can I announce the month? The month I can announce, right? December. So like in a few days, it's December.
Yes.
So please look out for it on the Manta app exclusively. Again, if you didn't know, it's almost December. Yes. But thank you again to all of our incredible guests for joining us here. Thank you to, give it up for our three incredible panelists as well. Thank you so much.